Hello everyone and welcome to the course selection presentation for the 2025-2026 school year. This specific presentation is meant for grade 9 and 10 students at Danforth. Course selection this year opens on February 19th at 4 p.m. and closes on February 25th at 4 p.m. As always, course selection is going to be done in My Blueprint. Before we get too far into the presentation, I wanted to note that this presentation is going to be posted on the Danforth website under the Guidance Department webpage. So if you have any questions or want to review this presentation after the presentation, feel free to check the presentation out there. So without further ado, let's get started. So to begin with, we're going to start with some important dates. So as I mentioned, February 19th is the first day that course selection opens. On that day, you're going to have the opportunity to first watch this presentation in your homeroom classes, and then also to attend a course selection fair at lunch in the cafeteria. This fair is made up of presentations by different departments at the school, and will be an opportunity for students to chat with department heads, to ask questions, to find out more specifically about the different courses being offered, and to really find out what courses may be of interest to you. From February 20th to the 25th, students will have the opportunity to actually choose their courses in My Blueprint and submit their course selections. So on the 20th, grade 9s will have an opportunity in their homeroom classes to submit their course selection of My Blueprint. The 21st is grade 10s, the 24th is grade 11s, and the 25th is grade 12s. And as I mentioned before, course selection closes on the 25th at 4 p.m., and this is a hard deadline. In other words, there are no exceptions and there are no opportunities to complete course selection after this point. I also wanted to mention that there will be course selection support at lunch every day from the 20th to the 25th at B1. This support will be with guidance counselors in the computer lab and will be an opportunity for students of any grade to get more individualized support if they're having trouble with course selection. To begin with, we're going to talk about the grade 9 graduation requirements. So it's important to note that grade 9s and grade 10 students have different graduation requirements. So their OSSD requirements have actually changed. So grade 9 students need to get 30 credits in total to graduate. 17 credits are compulsory, so those are mandatory credits. 13 are optional or elective credits. All students need 40 hours of community service. They need to meet the literacy requirement. That can be the test, the OSSLT, or the literacy course. They also need 2 online learning credits. It's important to note on the right hand of the screen, you can kind of see the breakdown of all the different compulsory credits. So it's important to note that students take at least 1 technological education credit. So that happens automatically at Danforth in grade 9 when they do the tech rotation. And then a STEM credit later on. And this can be any elective credit in the areas of business, computer science, cooperative education, math, science, or another additional tech education. We're lucky here at Danforth where we have lots of different tech education requirements or different electives being offered. So students have many different options when completing that requirement. Similarly, grade 10 to 12 students at the school need 30 credits in total. But our grade 10 students actually need 18 compulsory credits and 12 elective or optional credits. Grade 10 students are probably familiar with the concept of group 1, 2, and 3 credits, and these are different types of elective credits. So they need those electives on top of the 40 hours of community service, the literacy requirement, and the 2 online learning credits. As always, students can opt out of the online learning credit requirement by completing the opt-out form that can be found in guidance. In terms of course selection, it's important to make a note of a few different things. The first part is how to read an actual course code. So to begin with, we've used the example here of grade 9 English, ENL1W1. What I've done is I've pointed out the different requirements of the course code. That fourth number, that 1 in this case, identifies the grade level. That fifth letter, in this case the W, tells us that it's a D-streamed course. Eventually, later on in grade 11 and 12, you'll notice that instead of D-streamed course options, you'll have different pathway options. So you may see an O for an open level course, a C for college, an M for mixed college university, or a U for university level courses. And then finally, those first 3 letters, that tells us what department the course falls under. So in this case, the E designates that it's coming from the English department, but you may notice that many of the arts requirements start with an A, many of the tech requirements start with a T, many of the requirements for science start with an S, and so on. It's important that students really take the time over the next few days to really explore what the different course codes mean and also what type of pathway they're most interested in. So especially for our grade 10 students, if they're thinking about college or university, making sure they're choosing C courses or U courses depending on their pathway. All students are eligible for open level courses, for example. So many of the courses in the phys ed department are with an O at the end, and that tells us that it's open for students at all pathway levels. So really take the time to double check that final letter in your course code to make sure you're choosing courses at the correct pathway. With that being said, it's also important to start to think about what type of post-secondary pathway you're most interested in. It doesn't mean in grade 9 and 10 that you have to know 100% that you're thinking about university or an apprenticeship or the workplace, but it's important that you're getting some general ideas of the types of requirements that might be needed depending on the pathway that you're most interested in. For grade 9s, these are our current grade 9 students. This is a setup for what typically students are choosing for grade 10. So assuming you've passed all your courses, you're going to need to choose grade 10 English, grade 10 math, grade 10 science. You'll notice you have 2 options there. Grade 10 science, which is SNC2D, or grade 11 workplace science, SVN 3E, which is an environmental science. So you have those 2 options. History, civics and careers, and then often students will take 3 different types of electives. So on this next slide, we're going to look at the different electives, or popular electives, I should say. So many students have an interest in trying American Sign Language, a business course called Launching and Leading a Business, digital technology, guitar, visual and digital arts, carpentry, transportation technology, which is a combination of both auto service and auto body, culinary arts, hairstyling, tech design, and healthy active living. There's an opportunity to either take PPL, which is our sports-based phys ed classes, or personal fitness, PAF, which is more of that opportunity to be in the fitness studio actually working out on an individual fitness plan. For grade 10s, they now start to think about what type of pathway they're most interested in. So all grade 10 students are going to need to choose an English for grade 11. All English courses fall under the MBE category, so that it looks at in the Indigenous English class. They can choose it at the E level, which is workplace, the C, college, or U, university. All students need to take a math course. Math, there are many different options. There's actually 4 different options at the grade 11 level. So it's really important students are thinking about pathways and and what type of post-secondary pathway they're most interested in. That will help them choose which of the 4 math courses they need the most. I would also recommend chatting with your math teacher. Those different math courses involve different levels and different amounts of algebra. So it's important that you're really making an informed decision when it comes to choosing those courses. And finally, electives. So by this point, so by grade 11, students have 6 elective courses. You may, if you have 16 credits by the end of grade 10, actually choose a spare in grade 11, but you don't have to. Many students decide to actually leave their spares for their grade 12 year and focus on just trying some different courses for grade 11. Some popular course highlights for grade 11 are computer science, environmental science, film photography, parenting or raising healthy children, marketing, carpentry, the yearbook course, ComTech. There's fitness, there's auto, there's culinary and baking. There's lots of different options. Keep in mind when we're looking at number 10 and 11, that auto, body, and culinary, the X at the end of the course code means it's a 2-credit course. So many of the auto courses, carpentry courses, and baking and culinary courses are actually all morning or all afternoon. So it's important to understand that when you're choosing that course, you need to know the difference between a 1-credit or a 2-credit course. It's also worth thinking about co-op. Students can take co-op, 2-credit or 4-credit. 2-credit is all morning or all afternoon, and 4-credit is all day. In grade 11 or 12, you do need to be 16 with 16 credits to choose co-op. For many students, they end up choosing the 4-credit co-op option in grade 12, but you don't have to. You can choose 4-credit co-op in grade 11 as long as you have all of your grade 9 and 10 credits completed. I should also probably mention that co-op really is an opportunity to explore some different fields, some different pathways, some different types of jobs. It's an opportunity to really get out there, talk to employers, experience what a day in the life is of a certain person in the working world. And it's a great way to actually earn credits while getting some hands-on experience that can be really valuable to add to your resume. Course offerings. So there's going to be a complete list of course offerings available in guidance, as well as we've posted it on the Danforth website. We've posted it on Google Classrooms. There's lots of different places you can access that pretty extensive list of course offerings that Danforth has. I did want to highlight really quickly the new courses that we're going to be, piloting this year. So again, these are courses that have been added to our course selection, so they're available for you to choose. But they only run if students actually pick them. So we need a certain number of students to pick these courses for them to run. So if these courses are something that you're really passionate about or would love to try, it's a great opportunity to try something new, but also to make sure that you're adding them to your course selection so that we can make sure we are offering them next year. Some new courses include keyboard music, and we're going to be offering that at all levels, so grade 10, 11, and 12. Environment and Resource Management, which is a mixed level course, and that's through the geography-based department. Gender Studies, which is mixed, and that's through our Family Studies and Social Sciences department. Writer's Craft, which is an opportunity for students in the grade, so they can take it in grade 11 or grade 12, and it's a creative writing course, and it can be taken at the college level or the university level. Health Sciences, which is a great opportunity for students that are interested in going into life sciences, health sciences, kinesiology, nursing, anything kind of under the realm of the healthcare world. This is a science course that's specifically for you. And then finally, we're going to be offering college level chemistry. And that's something we offer. We rotate between college chem and college physics every other year. So these are some new and exciting courses you may want to consider. I did want to mention it, but I won't go into great detail here, that there's lots of different ways to accumulate credits. So summer school is a very popular way to accumulate credits, and that can be done through e-learning, which is an asynchronous model, or through continuing ed, which is a synchronous model. So that means that live teaching. There are options for in-person or online. So definitely think about which of those models works best for you. Dual credit. This is an opportunity for grade 11 and 12 students to actually take an elective credit at the local college. So in this case, you would actually go in person 1 day a week to George Brown, Seneca, Centennial, Humber, and you would take a credit that would count as both a high school elective as well as potentially a future credit to be used if you end up going to that college in the future. There's SWAC. Again, this is more of an opportunity for grade 12 students where they actually attend full-time in person at local college while finishing up high school credits. And then OYAP. which is the Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program. And this is an opportunity for students through co-op to actually start earning their apprenticeship hours in some of the skilled trades. So great opportunities in those areas. If you're interested, I would encourage you to reach out to your guidance counselor, reach out to Mr. Seven or Miss Capos in co-op and really ask them some more specific questions and to find out if you meet those eligibility requirements. Finally, I wanted to note that students in our LD, our learning disabilities, and our ASD, autism spectrum disorder programs, there are specific courses and course coding you need to make a note of. This is on the bottom of our course selection sheet. So that's the bottom of page 2. Very important that you make a note of which courses are being offered in the ASD or the LD programs and which courses are being offered through mainstream. I also wanted to mention that students with an IEP are eligible to take 4 GLE credits. So these are 4 learning strategies credits, 1 each year, that they can take, and these count as elective credits. For students in our MAST program, it's important again that they're taking courses and that are specific to the MAST program. So in grade 10, they have to take math, biology, English, and science. Please note that biology can be taken at the university or the college level, so it's completely up to students. By grade 11, math, physics, and chemistry can be taken at any of the pathway levels, and any of those options fulfill that MAST requirement. So I'm not going to go through all the different MAST program options, but if you go onto the Danforth website and under programs, click on MAST, you'll find a breakdown of how the MAST program works, what types of courses you need to take, and how many at different levels. And then all of the electives that fall under MAST are included there. For SHSM, our Specialist High Skills Major, this is an opportunity for students in grade 11 and 12 to really focus their OSSD, their diploma, on a specific economic sector. So at Danforth, we're really lucky. We have 3: health and wellness, hospitality and tourism, and transportation. If you would like to sign up for SHSM, you can indicate that in my blueprint, but you don't officially sign up until your grade 11 year. If you have questions about SHSM or what it looks like, what it entails, you're going to want to meet specifically with Miss Chan if you're interested in health and wellness, or Miss Nusiwala if you're interested in hospitality and transportation. They really are the experts in SHSM, and they can tell you exactly the types of courses that you're going to need. It is important to note that not only do you need major credits, so those are your core credits in that area, but you also need to take co-op, as well as a variety of other courses on top of certifications to get your red seal on your diploma. For my blueprint, so this is the actual step-by-step guide to choosing courses on my blueprint. We have posted a mini summary document for everyone to look at. It's 2 pages on how to choose courses on my blueprint. But I did want to point out really quickly on this slide that when you're logging into my blueprint, so you're going into www.myblueprint.ca, it's important that you're choosing school account login. This allows you to log in with your TDSB login credentials. So you don't need to have a separate password. There's no need for separate usernames for my blueprint. It's all linked into your TDSB credentials. When choosing in my blueprint, you want to look at the highlighted year. So in this case, this example, the highlighted year is grade 10. So that's that blue year. And you're going to click on plus beside each of the prompts. So plus beside the math, plus beside the science, to actually choose the specific science class that you need. It's important to note that if you're planning to take summer school, please do not choose that course in my blueprint. Instead, when you go to review your course selections and click on submit, there'll be an option to add a comment. In that box, you'll be able to type a note to your guidance counselor that tells us what the plan is. So for example, if you don't choose civics and careers in your plan because you're planning to take it in the summer, you would type a note that just lets us know planning to take it in the summer, and then you would choose a different elective in my blueprint. Okay, keep in mind that there's going to be these little alerts that pop up. They're kind of this like red exclamation mark, and that tells you often if you're missing a prerequisite, so a course that needed to have been taken. If you are, or if there's a reason, so perhaps you're missing a prerequisite because you're taking the course in the summer, again, you're going to write a note to your guidance counselor. If you have any questions, please ask your homeroom teacher to help you, and then hopefully together you can figure out why there may be an error message popping up in my blueprint. Finally, you're going to want to submit your courses when you're done. Please note that once your courses are submitted, you cannot undo them. So the only way you can undo them, and only if there's a really, really specific reason that a mistake has been made, guidance counselors have the power to undo course selection, but it's really important that you're treating it like a final decision. Like once you click submit, course selection is done. It will ask you to send an approval email to your parent or guardian. Please make sure you're entering their email address, as they are the ones that officially have to approve your course selection before it is officially registered as complete from the final end. The final note here is just to take your time with course selection. So it's not a race. It is important that you ask questions, that you make informed decisions, that maybe you play around with my blueprint, you make sure you're adding your alternate courses, and you only submit when you're ready. With that being said, there is a hard deadline of February 25th at 4 p.m. So you do have a bit of time. You have about a week between when course selection opens and closes, but it is important that you submit when you're ready, and that you don't speed up or you don't submit courses before you're actually ready. So take your time, keeping in mind though there is a hard deadline of the 25th. Finally, I wanted to show you really quickly the Danforth website so you could find more information if you are looking for more information. So under the Danforth CTI website, if you go under Departments and Guidance, we'll give it a second to load. Under Guidance, there is a button for course selection. So you're going to choose that. If you scroll down, you're going to notice that there's everything from the course selection worksheet to the course selection chart, and then to a copy of this presentation. So if you have any questions, as well as, the science and math pathway. So if you have any questions, first check out the website, double check the material that's posted, but you're also welcome to join guidance counselors at lunch in B1 from February 20th to the 25th, or to make an individual appointment. Keep in mind that guidance counselors only have so many appointment slots, so it's important that if you do make an appointment, you do as much research and as much homework as possible before making that appointment. So thank you very much. I hope you found this presentation helpful, and good luck with the 2025-2026 course selection process.